Derek Carrington.
And Utah brings extra again. They throw it to Carrington. He caught it out of the end zone. One play left.
After review, the receiver's foot was inbounds and he maintained control of the ball going to the ground. The result of the play is a touchdown.
And the Mountaineers bring some pressure, gets it out quickly, complete, look out, Westbrook can fly, escapes, D.D. Westbrook does not lose foot races, touchdown, Oklahoma. 75 yards.
And Oliver in there again, and Jackson's going down. My goodness, they just can't stop him.
That can score and erupt, so they're not out of this game by any stretch.
That one was backwards, I think, and they're going to throw the ball. And a perfect delivery to Chance Allen. Off to the races. Touchdown.
How's it going, everybody? It's week number 13, the final week of the college football regular season here on the Jordan and Dad Show. Now, last week we only had a couple upsets. The top 6 didn't really change that much, but the one change it did make was this team right here. We have the Kentucky Wildcats at the number 11 Louisville Cardinals. Now, the rankings just came out at the time of this recording, and Louisville dropped from 5 to 11. Now they got crushed by Houston 36-10, which I did not expect. You know, if they did lose, I didn't think they were going to lose by that much, but they did. Let's bring in our insider Craig Dad Cruz. I'm going to pick Louisville to win this one. However, how do you see this game going?
Well, let's just go ahead and pick Louisville because they're about as consistent as the good teams, but they're about as inconsistent in their domination of teams as I've ever seen in a team that's ranked as high as they are. So, but I'm going to pick Louisville just because I think they've got some momentum.
All right, the next game we have here, the number 13 Auburn Tigers at the number 1. They have been all year, the Alabama Crimson Tide. Now, Auburn's bad loss to Georgia a couple weeks ago definitely takes a little bit out of this game, but I still think it'll be a good game. You know, still have that rivalry spirit in the air, but I do think Alabama will win this game by probably a touchdown or 2.
Remember, Auburn versus Alabama is a rivalry game, but this is also Auburn at Alabama, an undefeated Alabama, and this is not the Auburn that was ranked number 4 and returned 100-some-yard missed field goal attempt for a touchdown. Auburn was number 4 at the time. They're not the same team. I'm thinking Alabama here. Auburn could beat them, but I'm going to say Alabama has been on a roll for 2 seasons, and Auburn is not going to stand in their way.
The next game we have here, a game that could have been much, much better had the Notre Dame Fighting Irish played a lot better this season. They're 4-7 at the number 12 USC Trojans. Now, earlier tonight there was a lot of debate on whether USC could make the playoff. Being in a 3-loss team, there are a couple good points made. Quickly here, do you think they can make the playoff? And quickly, I'm going to say USC will win this game, definitely. But do you think they can make the playoff?
I don't think they can make the playoffs. I think they're just trying to make it into a New Year's. I think they're just trying to make it into the biggest bowl game possible outside of the playoffs.
And who's your pick in this one?
So here's the thing. This rivalry is as close as any, right? Notre Dame versus USC Trojans. It's for the trophy of the Julius Soleila. I think that Notre Dame is actually going to win this one because, as you and I both know, rivalry games generally can go either way. We saw it with Ohio State and Michigan State. We're probably not going to see it with Alabama and Auburn, but this week is a week of major upsets. I think Notre Dame's going to win this game. I've got them picked.
Next, we have the number 18 West Virginia Mountaineers at the Iowa State Cyclones. Now, West Virginia just came off a big loss to Oklahoma last week, 56-28. Not the way I expected that game to go. I expected it to be a little bit more defensive, as the snowy conditions I thought would make it that way, but it didn't. In Iowa State, I didn't think they were 3-8. I thought they were a little bit better than that. They did hang with Oklahoma in the game that Iowa State played against them. Man, I really don't know who to pick in this one, but I mean, it's gonna be a really, really good game, I think, honestly. They're not really much of a rivalry, but I do think West Virginia is gonna win this game.
I have West Virginia picked. This is my confidence for game. But remember, in 2011, Iowa State Cyclones beat then number 2 Oklahoma State in a huge upset. What was their record that year? It was horrible. It was 500. They are giant killers. West Virginia's not a giant. I'm picking West Virginia.
Alright, the next game, I guess it will be a good game. Probably a bloodbath. The 4-7 Oregon Ducks at the 3-8 Oregon State Beavers. Now, I thought Oregon would be much better at this point. They're 4-7. They're one of the most disappointing teams of this year. I might make a whole separate video on that because there's been a lot. But Oregon State's been doing what they do, pretty much every year. They're not a great team. I guess Oregon's going to win this game. It's a rivalry game, but they did come off a big win against Utah last week, so I'm going to pick Oregon.
Well, I literally put both emblems on the wall, 100 each. I drew darts. So Oregon State got the most darts, so they're going to win. You mentioned bloodbath. How about annihilation, assassination, carnage, murder, slaughter, slaying? This is going to be a bloodbath of horrible football down to the end. I think in the end, the Ducks are going to win.
Next, we have the number 22 Utah Utes, who should be 9-2 and maybe in the top 10, at the number 9, surprisingly, Colorado Buffaloes. Now, they were number 10 last week. I know I've said surprisingly before, but I did not think Colorado, of all teams, could be in a position to win the Pac-12, maybe even get in the playoff. I don't know. But I do think they're going to win this game, continue their path to maybe the Rose Bowl or the playoff game. They've been phenomenal this year. Utah, I could say the same, but they lost badly last week to Oregon. So I'm going to pick Colorado this one. They play fantastic at home.
You know what? That's not a horrible pick, but I don't know if people do their research or not. Utah has won this rivalry game called the Rumble in the Rockies since 2012. This will be year number 5 that Utah is going to spank them. I know that it's at Colorado, and I know that Colorado's ranked higher than they are. But Utah is 8-3, and they went to a binge last week's loss. I'm going Utah Utes.
The next game we have here is the South Carolina Gamecocks at the number 4 Clemson Tigers. Now, Clemson is an interesting situation. They're 10-1, but they've played a lot of bad teams close this year, and I think it's going to happen again. This time with Clemson barely squeaking out like they have so many times this year. There's a potential for an upset here, and it would really shake up the playoff race. But for a lot of teams, that's what they're hoping. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think Clemson barely squeaks out of this one.
You know what? I hate to agree with you, and nobody knows that more than you. But I'm going to say that Clemson might not spank them. They should. South Carolina is one of those teams that they're just not where they need to be at the level of conference they're in. Clemson is. Clemson needs to make a statement. If they want to make the playoffs, if Clemson wants to be in there, solidify their place, they have to really beat South Carolina by 3 touchdowns or more. But I don't think it's going to happen, but I think they're going.
The next game we have is the number 15 Florida Gators at the number 14 Florida State Seminoles. Man, this is a really, really, really tough one. Probably the toughest for me to pick this week. I really don't know, how good Florida is this year. They get up there. They were in the top 10 earlier this year. But then they lost, and automatically they're out of the playoff rankings. Then they come back in, get a big win against LSU. So I'm really hesitant on Florida this week. I really don't know. They're heading to the SEC championship game. Florida State, 8-3. Screw it. Florida State's going to win this game. I do think they will beat Florida.
you know what? Let's just not agree on things too much this time. Florida has a streak that they have not been able to match for a very long time. Florida State has that streak. This is the Florida Cup. Florida is going to win the Gators.
The next game we have the Wyoming Cowboys at the New Mexico Lobos. I coughed up a hair
I
about
would
there.
just cut that out. Yeah, better edit that.
Not going to do that. The Cowboys, if they win this game, they'll play in the Mountain West title game against, I believe, San Diego State. They did beat them last week, so that'll be interesting in that conference. We will preview that next week, I promise. I do think they're going to win this game too. I do, in New Mexico 7-4. But, I just feel like Wyoming, they have a lot of momentum coming off that big win against San Diego State, so I think they take this one.
I feel like the college pick'em games are based a lot on their record. Look, Wyoming's 8-3, New Mexico's 7-4. In this situation, Wyoming can clinch with an Air Force loss, but New Mexico, if I was New Mexico, I would have a lot more motivation to win. Why? Because you can destroy someone else's pride by beating Wyoming. I'm picking New Mexico in this one.
And ladies and gentlemen, it's finally here, the game that we've been waiting for all year. The number 3 Michigan Wolverines at the number 2 Ohio State Buckeyes. We've been waiting for this game for so long. We've been ready to trash talk each other. This is what we've been waiting for. This is, whoever wins this game is in good position for the playoff. There's a lot of argument you can make about Ohio State. If Penn State beats Michigan State and Ohio State still wins, Penn State goes to the Big Ten Championship. We're not going to worry about that right now. We're going to worry about the Wolverines and the Buckeyes. Wolverines controlling their own destiny. The Buckeyes, I don't know. We'll find out when we get there. But I really don't know who I'm going to pick in this one. The biggest game of the year, 2 versus 3. I'm picking the Buckeyes. I'm picking the Buckeyes to win this one.
What?
I'm picking the Buckeyes. I will.
My game of the week is this game, Ohio State versus Michigan. There's a lot of history between these two schools, a lot of history in college football. In 2006, this was a similar thing. It was 1 versus 2. Who won that game? Ohio State. But my heart, Chad Henne, basically had a great game. And Antonio Pittman was just a little bit better. Listen, Ohio State won. They ended up going to the championship game and lost to who? Florida. But the bottom line is I'm picking Michigan. This is my 10 game. They're a better team. They have a better coach. They're athletically better. I'm going to Michigan. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But I think my gut feeling is true.
And there's definitely no bias in that prediction.
No.
Liar. So that concludes this year's regular season predictions on the show. We will be back next week and the week after that to talk about conference championships and the way the playoff is set up. We'll give our own playoff predictions. I'm really, really excited. This has been a great year, but it ain't even near over yet. So, any last words about this year and the people at home? For the people at home, I should say.
Listen, this year has been just like the last couple of years. It's been a cart of apples that has been upset. And with that, I'm going to say, Daddy-o out.
All right. See you next week.